Hello, and welcome to Math 1089 Math Fundamentals. We're going to begin. I'll introduce myself. My name is Melissa London, and I'll be your instructor for this course. I've been teaching here at NBC St. John for 20 years, and my background is in math and stats. The best way to contact me would be to email me at melissa.london@nbcc.ca. I will check my email regularly, but remember on the weekends I may not be working, so it may be the first of the week before I actually get to my email. Let's get started. Let's look at the most important document that you're going to need to read, and that is your course outline. Your course outline contains all the information that you need, the course details, how you will be assessed, what required resources there are, important policies. So it's important to go through and read that course outline at the beginning of the course, and you may need to refer to it throughout the course as well. One of the things that I'm sure you're interested in, and that is how am I going to be assessed? And here's a little breakdown of how you're going to be assessed. So at the end of every lesson, you'll have a practice quiz. Those will account for 20%. At the end of every module, you'll have an assignment. There'll be 8 of those, and those will be a total of 20%. You'll have 4 tests, which will be 5% each for a total of 20%, 1 midterm 20%, and 1 final exam 20%. Now our course schedule is posted in our Brightspace page as well, and this is just a little snippet of it. This is a document, again, that you should have on hand at all times, so you will know when your assignments are due, when your tests are. Really what I've done here is kind of outlined a schedule as to what you should be covering when. You can work ahead. I would like you, if you do find yourself getting behind, that you try to get caught up, because this is the best usage of our time that we have together in our 12-week course. Okay, the next thing is we're going to need a calculator, and this course is based on the Sharp EL 546. There are some calculators that are similar to this. If you do decide that you're going to use a different calculator, you should have a copy of your user manual, because you may need to do things differently than are explained in the lessons. So there is a copy of the user manual for EL 546 contained in the course materials, so you will have that for a reference if you need it. Now the next thing that you're going to need is a scanner. You will need access to a scanner because you're going to print off your assignments, you're going to complete them, and you're going to scan them in to a PDF format and submit them into Brightspace like that. So if you have a scanner, or you can use some apps that I've listed here, or if you have another app that works, I just require that you have your assignment completed in one PDF format and submit it. Okay, so talking our first login, you must have been on already, because if not, you wouldn't be able to watch this video. So you're going to start out going to the introduction start here, and this is what it's going to look like when it opens up, with the exception of this in progress. Yours is not going to say that because this is my special copy. One of the things that you'll probably find you'll get used to is going and clicking up here on the content, and that's important because that kind of goes in and gives you a little bit different format than this. So once you're in there, if you have not used a D2L before, Brightspace, excuse me, you're going to need to go through and do the how to use Brightspace. So there are some videos. They are short, they are to the point, they are very informative, and I highly recommend, if you have not used Brightspace before, that you do go through and view those videos. Okay, so once you've gone through all of your introduction material, then it's time to get into the lessons, and where you're going to start is Module 1, Lesson 1. And you'll notice the organization. We have our module is right here, and every module has lessons in practice, review and assignment, and explore and extend your knowledge. You're going to start with Module 1, Lesson 1, which just happens to be called Numbers. So that's going to be your starting point. Now, one thing I do want to caution you of is navigation throughout our Brightspace course. You're going to be tempted to use these buttons up here. Don't use them. Those will take you through from a lesson to a practice to tests and assignments. You want to navigate through your lesson using the back and next buttons that are indicated with the green arrows. So if you happen to go through and use one of the other buttons, you'll just have to come back into the lesson to go ahead and complete it. Now, as far as module content goes, we do have 8 modules in total. Every module will have an introduction. It'll have in this module what you're going to cover. It'll have lessons in practice. And one thing that you need to remember is you may not see the practice exercises because they will not be available until the lessons or lesson have been completed. So if you don't see any practice exercises, that's because you have to go ahead and do the lesson before it becomes available. It's the same thing with your assignments. You don't get to see your assignment until all your lessons and practice quizzes have been completed. So if you're looking at your course schedule and saying, well, I don't see that, it's because you have something yet to complete. All of our modules as well have a printable module, and that is all the content that is in the lessons along with the answers to the exercises. Also, with every single module, we have additional practice exercises or a worksheet. I highly recommend that those are the resources that you go to if you're having trouble with material, if you want to do some more practice questions, is to look at those worksheets because the actual solutions are provided with them. And the last thing that's included in all our modules is links to other resources. So again, if you're finding that you're having a hard time with one particular subject, you can go in and go into some of those links and see some additional examples. But please don't hesitate at any time if you do have some questions about the content to certainly email me, and I'll send you some resources to look at or try to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, as I had mentioned before, the course structure. It's very important to remember that you can't get to a practice exercise unless you have completed your lesson first. So if you don't see any practice exercises, they will not appear until you complete your lesson. Okay, so thank you for watching the video. It's very important that we did go through that information. Here are some things you need to look at before you start. Do you have your Sharp calculator? Do you have a scanner or access to a scanner or scanner app? You have read the course outline carefully. You have looked at the course schedule and note the important dates. That would be something that I would probably print out and have a copy of. You looked at the instructor contact information, so you know my email and how to get a hold of me. Become familiar with the course layout in Brightspace, so you can kind of take a little tour around and see how things worked, and you'll notice it's the same for every module. And if you need to, and this is only if you don't have any experience with Brightspace, that you've gone through the videos on how to use Brightspace, you may want to watch this presentation again if needed. And most of all, enjoy the course and have fun. And please, at any time, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to email me. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can so that we can resolve that issue and get you on the road to success in the course. Thanks, and have a great course.